Hey everyone, it's Tuesday evening. It's weather for Weather Geeks time. It's February the 5th, otherwise known as National Weather Person's Day. Hope you've been nice to your weather person. Today I wanted to share with you this evening my fantastic better half got me some National Weather Person's Day cookies from a local establishment. I mean, look at the detail on this. All 88 counties of Ohio on a cookie. I mean, I don't want to eat this. It's so nice. And, you know, there's a lot of other good stuff in here. There's a cloud national weather map here with fronts and highs and lows, and the cold fronts are pointing in the right direction, which you don't often see sometimes. Highs and lows and precipitation. I mean, this is great stuff, and I brought these into work so that other people will eat them and not just me. I don't want to gain 10 pounds because of National Weather Person's Day, but those cookies are fantastic stuff. All right, it's nice to have a day that recognizes the men and women across the weather enterprise here in the U.S. A lot of hardworking people out there. Some of them work longer hours than I do. Some of them work weekends. Some of them work overnights. Most meteorologists, as you probably know, actually aren't on TV. So when they score a forecast victory, their successes are a little less visible than those who are kind of in the public eye, such as myself. It works the other way around as well. When a meteorologist who isn't necessarily in the public eye has a forecast bust, well, maybe they don't hear as much as those of us in the public eye do. But a lot of hardworking men and women in this field. Generally, people who are in this field absolutely love what they do. It's not a job for most of us. We're basically getting paid to look at the weather, and that's quite a deal. Most of us love looking at the weather. We want to do it all day. All right, let's get on to what's going on here locally this evening. It was still a pretty nice day today, despite the clouds, and despite it, yes, it was cooler than yesterday, but still, by early February standards, it was in the lower 40s for a lot of the day. In the 7 o'clock hour, 21 degrees cooler than this same time last night. What a wild ride it has been since the harsh cold we had last week. Wednesday, this high of 10. This was, of course, just after midnight. We spent most of Wednesday afternoon below zero with wind chills close to 30 below. And it was bitterly cold into Thursday and Friday. But look how far we've come. We did 61 yesterday and 53 for a high temperature just after midnight today. We spent most of the day in the lower 40s, which again is still warmer than average. All right, radar starting to fill in this evening with some liquid precipitation down here and a mess out here. You never want to see these kind of, I guess that's peach, kind of a pink peach out across parts of Illinois this evening, where a somewhat rare ice storm warning is in effect. It's been a long time since some of these weather service offices out here, including northern Illinois, have issued an ice storm warning. It's a little more common to see that product issued out in the Plain States. But yeah, ice storm warning for Chicago this evening. Freezing rain will be an issue across Michigan into New York State as well. And then farther to the south, it's a flood watch for the Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton metro areas. I wouldn't be surprised if we were put under a flood watch in 24 to 36 hours. But yeah, the ice is going to be an issue from Chicago across I-94 into the Detroit metro area, and then heading across to Buffalo and Rochester tonight into tomorrow as well. I'm not real concerned about ice here locally. My concern is a lot lower than it was last evening. I think we're going to warm up fast enough late tonight that when the rain comes in, we'll be firmly above freezing. The bullseye for rain over the next several days looks to be across the lower Ohio River Valley. There's a good reason why those flood watches are out. There's going to be some places down here that try to get 3, 4, 5 inches or so worth of rain. I don't think rainfall totals will be that high here. I'll show you the modeling in just a second. Speaking of modeling, here's a look at our rain pushing in tomorrow morning. This isn't going to be much at first, but the radar will fill in, I think, as we head towards daybreak tomorrow morning. Notice you don't see any of those bad colors on here. So, again, I think our temperatures as the rain arrives, instead of like 30 to 32, it's going to be more like 36 to 38, and that should keep everything liquid. And yeah, we'll be dealing with rain off and on tomorrow, but thanks to this warm front, it's going to be a pretty balmy day. I've upped our high. I've taken it up significantly, up to 53. It looked like the front, yesterday it looked like the front would settle down more like in here, but it's going to come far enough north, I think, that we'll get into the 50s tomorrow afternoon. Off and on rain into tomorrow night, into Thursday, and despite the rainy bouts, or the bouts of rain, I should say, on Thursday, we've got record warmth in the forecast. The record is kind of low-hanging fruit on Thursday. It's 59 set 2 years ago. We've got a high of 60 in the forecast for Thursday. And then, yeah, winter's going to come back. It doesn't come with snow, aside from a flurry in the wee hours of Friday morning, but a lot of wind and falling temperatures. I think wind chills Friday will probably be in the teens after temperatures near 60 on Thursday. All right, rainfall totals here locally. Here's our model spread. On the lower end, an inch. On the higher end, the RPM and the European are closer to 2 inches. I kind of like about an inch and a half, inch and 3/4 is a good average for our rain coming up. And the official forecast for the river level, the Mahoning River at Leavittsburg, now brings it up into flood stage Thursday night into Friday morning, perhaps cresting around 12 feet later on Friday. And, you know, this graph only goes out to Friday afternoon. This may crest by Friday. It may wait until Friday night, so this could even be higher. So, you know, the snow melt and, you know, you get an inch and a half, perhaps 2 inches worth of rain, and perhaps some ice jam issues as well. We're going to have to keep a close eye on the Mahoning River at Leavittsburg, Eagle Creek, near Braceville as well, another spot that we'll keep an eye on later this week. All right, longer range, I'm going to show you the GFS ensemble modeling tonight. These are temperature anomalies, difference from average. Boy, is it harshly cold in southwest Canada into the northern Rockies of the U.S. That's where the cold's going to be mostly parked for the next a week to 10 days. Ridge off the southeast coast flexing its muscle and keeping most of that harsh cold in British Columbia and Alberta, parts of Montana, the Dakotas, and it really has a hard time making inroads east of the Mississippi. Yes, there's going to be a cold day here and there, like Saturday. I've got a high of 27 in our forecast, but that's kind of the exception. You'll notice all these reds and oranges and even browns showing up across the Ohio Valley, the southeast, through Valentine's Day. Now, the GFS does suggest that this pattern starts to relax some by about the 20th. You know, it's going to take a couple of weeks. If this has the right idea, I think we'll finally get in on some of this colder weather during the final 10 days, maybe week of February. You know, if you remember last week, I did my February forecast and kind of had us below average for the month. Already, I'm kind of not thrilled with that forecast, given the model trends over the last few days, keeping the southeast ridge a little stronger and deflecting a lot of that cold to the north and west for a lot of February. It may be a little different during the last week of the month, but not real thrilled with my below average forecast that I put out for February last week. I'm starting to really think February is not going to be that cold as a whole, despite the occasional cold day and despite perhaps a pattern change last week of the month. From now through about the 20th, I don't see a lot of sustained cold coming our way. Thanks for watching tonight's Weather for Weather Geeks. I'll see you back here, same time, same place on Wednesday.